Welcome back to my channel, you guys. I am so happy to be here tonight because we're gonna do a little story time today, so I hope you guys are ready for that. And yeah, so I'm excited. Anyway, I'm so excited to be here. I have a story time, and as you guys can tell by the title, today I am going to be telling you guys about the time that I got slapped by a 2-year-old. Yes, I mean, it wasn't just a slap. I mean, I got pimp slapped. I got slapped. I got that. So I'm letting you guys know that slap was real. That was a real. Let me get to the story. Okay, so this was around last year, and I was working as a daycare teacher, and yeah, so it was a really fun job. I'm not gonna lie, being a daycare teacher is very rewarding to me because it's really fun, and since I'm creative, it gives me like an outlet to where I can just be full on creative, and it's fun. You see kids really smiling and they really brighten up your day, especially if your life is just crap. Like, you know, it just makes it better to see somebody is happy, you know. So anyway, around last year I was working as a daycare teacher, and I was in charge of the 2-year-old class, basically. So usually in my class I have about I have more girls than I have boys, but the boys in my class were always a little bit rambunctious and rowdy, and sometimes, you know, little boys, they like to beat each other up and try to fight and stuff, so I always spent a lot of time breaking them up, or, you know, keep them from making toy guns and, like, you know, just stuff that little boys do. You don't really necessarily want them to do because you don't want them to hurt themselves or anybody else. Usually my boys were always a little rambunctious, and the one who was the most rambunctious out of all of them, he was still good. Like, he would still be, like, you know, still manageable. So this time I noticed that my one 2-year-old, he was a little bit more. It seemed like he was angry. I started to notice him just out of the blue, like hitting other kids just out of nowhere. No reason at all. Just hitting them hard, like he was upset, and he looked so angry. Anyway, I knew, like, right off bat something was wrong. And because this particular day, he was not his usual self. Man, I think he took a toy and threw it at one kid's head. He slapped another kid in the face hard, and then he even tried to fight me. Like, he was trying to hit me, but, you know, of course I'm too quick. I'm like, you can't hit me. I'd stop his hand, you know, because I kind of got used to that, because sometimes little kids, they will. So that day went on, and I tried to talk to our director, and I was like, hey girl, anyway, I told her, I was like, hey, you know, my student, he's starting to act a little different and, like, not his usual self. He seems upset, he's sad, and, like, usually when I say this kid is smart, like, he's smart. This kid, he will literally, if I give him a book and let him chill in his reading space, like, he will do just that. He will mind his business if nobody messes with him, and he will read his books, and he's really good. And usually that's all it takes, but this time he wasn't. So I was telling my director, I was like, hey girl, you know, this is not like him. I'm with him every single day. This is not how he responds to things. He's starting to do things out of anger. Anyway, so I think at first she was like, okay, you know, like, I know that might be happening, but, you know, maybe he just needs a timeout or something. So I was like, nah, I don't think he needs a timeout. Like, this kid is mad. Like, he's going off. I think he needs a little bit more than that. Like, maybe I need to talk to his mom. So, okay, so the day went on, and he kept doing stuff like that. Still hitting kids, still throwing stuff. He didn't want to participate in none of my activities. And I'm gonna backtrack. So earlier that morning, when I first noticed it, I usually do circle time around that time, around 9:30 at the latest. I would be teaching them, you know, their morning alphabet and stuff like that, and that's when I first noticed that he kept getting that rambunctious. He didn't want to do it, and usually he liked doing that. Okay, fast forward to lunchtime. we all had the kids sitting down, we're eating lunch together, we're just eating lunch together, and I noticed that he keeps getting out of his seat and throwing food around the class, and it was just so crazy. So yeah, I talked to him about that, and every time I talked to him about something, it didn't seem like he was responding at all. Like, he just did not want to hear it. He just didn't want to hear it. He wasn't here for it. Fast forward to that afternoon, like late afternoon, we did arts and crafts, and he did not want to do arts and crafts. He was throwing crayons around. He was just like hitting other kids more, like throwing crayons at other kids. So it just kept happening. And so I said, you know what, I'm just gonna talk to his mom and see, you know, what's wrong with him, because maybe I can help. So I talked to his mom when it was time to go. So when his mom got there, I talked to her. I was like, hey mom, you know, this and this and this is going on. He's a little bit more upset, and he's just upset, and I just can't figure out what's wrong with him. He's usually really good about this when I give him this, and she knows that he was like pretty rambunctious usually, but overall he was a really good kid. Like, I didn't really have too many issues with him. Yeah, so like she was saying that basically the dad had went to jail, and he did not know that, but he can feel like something was wrong. So I said, okay, that makes sense. I can understand now why he's so upset. So like, okay, fast forward around to the next day. So the next day comes around, and I make plans, and I try to come up with a way where he can cope with it in a healthy way. That way he can be okay throughout the day, you know. So next day rolls around, it starts happening again. I kind of do things a little bit differently this day, just to try to work around, because I know it's pretty serious for him. And I try to give him hugs. Like, I started off the day giving him hugs, because he's little 2-year-old, you know, like, he needs love. He needs to know that there's people that care about him. So anyway, I tried hugging him. I'm like, hey. So he's happy. I got him happy. So I got him through the first part of the day, and I started to do the morning routine that we did. So he made it through doing the alphabets, and then, you know, the afternoon started to come around near lunchtime, and he was starting to get riled up again. So starting to hit kids again, this boy hits hard. Like, he hits hard. And of course he kept trying to like fight me, and I was like, okay. So I was like, okay, I don't know what I can do. So I tried to let him have his space. So we made it to lunchtime. It was still getting a little bit more rambunctious then. And I was like, okay. So I took him to the stuffed animals that we have. So we have like a reading corner, and there's like books, and then there's bean bags and stuffed animals to play with. So I took the soft stuffed animals, the big ones, and I laid them down, and I was just like, you know, if you're angry, just punch it. Because I didn't know how else to get him to deal with it, like, in a healthy way. And he punched his animals, and he was fine. Okay, he was fine for a while, and every time he got upset, I let him beat up the stuffed animal. As long as it wasn't the other kids, I was happy, because I didn't want anybody getting hurt. So anyway, fast forward now, and it's almost the end of the day, and all the kids are starting to go home, and I still have, you know, like a good handful of kids for the next few hours, or the next 2 hours, I think. I'm starting to like change things in my classroom, because by this time I kind of got him settled down. Everything's okay. The kids are okay, and I can see them, and I can kind of focus on that too. Like, I can multitask now. And so everything seemed fine. I was I think it was taking papers down off of my wall, my board of the letters that we did prior a couple of months back. And all I know is that while I was up there taking the flyers down, I just seen this thick thing. Like, it looked like it was a book. It was a really thick cardboard book for, you know, little kids. And it just flew right past my head, like this close, and it hit the wall. And I was like, oh crap, like, I almost got hit. What the hell? Like, somebody just tried to take my head off. But the way it flew was just like whoosh, and it hit it, and it hit it so hard. And I was like, what the hell? Somebody trying to take my head off. Like, So I look back and he's sitting there laughing about it, like, like, I'm like, what the hell? So I get down and I'm just like, why you do that? Like, why are you doing that? And he's just like, no. And he starts hitting me and he just wants to run away. And I'm just like, no, you need to come here. No. You don't throw stuff at people. That's not okay. That's not how we do in our classroom. No hitting our friends. So I take him and sit him up on the thing. And I'm like, listen. And he's still trying to fight me. And I'm periodically through the day, I did ask for help with him. So he had already been on timeout, like, I think twice for hitting the kids, because he did it that frequently. It's like some parts I had him punch the stuffed animal, and some parts he did go sit down for a minute with the director. So anyway, I got to this part, and I have him sitting on the changing table, and I'm trying to talk to him. I'm like, hey, look, this is not okay. You can't be hitting me. This is not cool. We don't hit our friends. We're friends, okay? And I keep trying to talk to him to make him feel better. And he's just like, no. And he hits me again. And by this time, I'm just getting so fed up with being hit. Like, he hits hard. So I grab his hands and like, hey, we cannot hit each other, like trying to get him to understand. So his hands were like in my hands like this. I'm like, listen, we cannot hit, like, because I understand he's upset, he's going through stuff. In retaliation to me holding his hands and like talk to him, like trying to be stern, what I was trying to do is put my foot down with him and say, hey, listen, you cannot hit me. This is not okay. We are not doing this in Miss Cream's class. And what did I do that for? He just bam, just I got smacked, like, that's serious. Oh my god, I was like, I said the director's name. I was like, director! So I gotta tell you guys, I can't do that. But I screamed for the director. I just was like, come get him now! Like, that slap hurt so hard. But, like, you know, overall of that, like, I knew, under everything that was going on, like, I knew why he was like that. So I didn't, for a second, I forgot. I ain't gonna lie, he slapped me so hard, I forgot he was a kid. And I was like, Jesus, like, somebody come get him out of my class right now. Like, get him out of my class. He needs to go sit down until his mom gets here. Because, okay, so anyway, he goes and sits down with the director, and he sit down, and I need to take a breather because I'm like, oh hell no, I just got slapped by a 2-year-old. I just got slapped. Like, I got really slapped hard. And so I go and I take a quick breather. I was like, I need 5 minutes. So I went to the bathroom and I'm trying to freshen and get my head together, because I'm just like, dang, like, he caught me off guard and it hurt. Like, you know, usually if you're like, you know, you tell kids and you put a little bass in your voice, they listen. They'll be like, okay, you know, she's not playing around. Okay, I get it. But no, he didn't give no cares. And he smacked the mess out of me. So yeah, I'm getting it together. I end up coming back in the classroom. He sits out there for like maybe 10 minutes. And I don't know if it was 10 minutes, probably like 5 minutes. And the director ended up bringing him back to my classroom even after that. And I was just like, you know what? I was like, can you just please keep him out there till his mom gets here? Because I don't want to risk that happening again. And I have other kids to watch. And if all of this is going on between me and this kid, like, how am I going to keep my eyes on the other kids to make sure everybody's safe? Well, anyway, she's just like, well, we need you to have him and blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, all right, fine, whatever. Just put him back in here. So I was like, okay. By this point, I done backed up. I was like, you know what? I ain't saying nothing else to this kid. He wants to act like this. I'm probably going to just tell not to mention, he got written up, I think. But I told them, like, they're going to have to do something about it, because I'm not going to deal with him in the class. Like, I'm not going to deal with him if he's putting hands on me. Like, come on now, that's not cool. Like, the other kids were getting rambunctious because of him, you know, and they seen him getting away with it. So, you know, like, they see one person do it, and like all of them kind of follow behind to start doing it. All the wild ones, you know. And so yeah, like I was basically telling him like, no, I do not want him in my class tomorrow if he's gonna be like this. So I talked to his mom when his mom shows up, and I immediately, after I write all these reports, because I have to keep track of everything that happens between the kids. I had to write reports for him hitting the other kids. I had to write reports for him hitting me. I had to write reports for, just his behavior in general. I had to keep up paperwork on that. And just for his general well-being, period, So the mom gets there, and I was like, making sure he was good to go, changed and everything, make sure, because we had to make sure they're clean and stuff. So I wanted to make sure he was clean before I went to his mom. And then I talked to his mom, and I was telling his mom like, hey, this happened today, this happened today, this happened today. And then she's all like laughing about it when I tell her he slaps me. She's like, oh really? Like, and I was just like, you think it's funny that he hit his teacher? Like, you think it's funny that he hit his teacher? Like, dang, you think it's funny. And I can tell you right now, this lady was definitely older than me. But honestly, I just couldn't believe, like, why would you think that's funny? Like, he's gonna think that that's okay. And, that's not good. People can be hurt because of him, and it can hurt him later on in his life, So I was upset about that, and I never said anything else to her whenever it came to him doing something, because I didn't want her laughing in front of him the way she did, basically approving him to get away with that kind of stuff. So I was really upset about that. But the mom ended up telling me that the dad got out of jail that day. So I was like, okay, so at least I know that he is now going to be in a better mood when he comes to school tomorrow. So he came the next day and everything went back to normal. But I'll tell you guys, that slap was hard. It made my whole life and my whole job and everything flash before my eyes. I'm not going to lie. I'm human too. And, like, I just did the best that I could with what I had at that moment. And I understand, kids, sometimes they do that, they go through stuff. And, I'm never going to try to do the worst or nothing like that. But the mom's reaction, though, I ain't going to lie, that pissed me off. Like, how you going to sit there and laugh about it? But you think it's funny, and it's not funny. Like, he can possibly mess up opportunities for his life. His future, his academics could be messed up because of that. You never know how that's going to affect the kid. Like, he can literally mess up his life by thinking that that's okay to do. Like, anyway, long story short, that's what happened. I'm low-key mad about the mom, but, it's not his fault. It was not his fault that she was like that. But everything went back to normal. He went back to his normal self. He was happy again, and I didn't have any more issues out of him. He was good after that. Anyway, I just want to say thank you guys for watching. I know it's a little bit long story time, but I just want to appreciate you guys for being here. Let you guys know I appreciate you, and thank you for always checking in. Won't you hit the like button, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments, and let me know what you guys want to see next. See you in the next video. Peace.